Howdy everyone, here Pyrel, here with another vlog. So I'm pretty much rested from the road trip back from Michigan. I mean, I arrived back yesterday, I don't remember what time, and then I got some rest. Like, we left like Monday afternoon, then came back like yesterday afternoon. But yeah, anyways, today, since I really don't have anything else going on, I might do some recording later, I might as well use this opportunity to just talk about the Michigan trip, because it was a fun trip. It was like my first time doing like a big road trip like that, so I thought it would be fun to talk about. So I guess this vlog is just gonna be Michigan reflections, I guess. But yeah. So let's start things off from the beginning. The whole reason this trip happened in the first place is because my older cousin who lives next door, actually I think he's mowing the lawn right now. Yeah, that's him mowing the lawn, but he approached me with this, I don't remember when, like months ago at this point, but his sister, also my cousin, because, you know, that's how family works. Anyways, he approached me and was like, hey, my sister's birthday is coming up in the summer, and we're planning on doing a road trip to surprise visit her. Would you be interested? And I was like, huh, that sounds fun. I'll think about it. And then after some like thinking about it throughout just these past few months, like, okay, yeah, that sounds fun. I think I will do that. And yeah, we went to go visit his sister Cecil, or Cecilia, but we call her Cecil. But we went to go visit her, and yeah, we brought a lot of people. There was 4 cars. Then we came back with 5. But yeah, and it was my first time like being a part of like a really big road trip. Like, the longest I've been in a car was for like 8 hours, I think. It had to be 8. Like, a few years ago, in the summer of 2014, I went to Maryland with a couple of my cousins, and I didn't do any driving for that. One of my other older cousins was the one that was doing the driving, and we were in the car for like 8 hours, and I think that's the longest I've ever been in a car. So this, like, driving to Michigan was definitely longer than that. But yeah, and also the longest I've ever personally driven before this was it was like a 2-hour drive, like also a few years back. But that's something else that I don't want to talk about. But yeah, so on the way to Michigan, it took about 18 hours. The estimated time was 16, but we took, I think, like 5 or 6 stops, just because we took 4 cars, and there was a lot of people like going to Michigan in general, so we had to make like a lot of stops for like bathroom breaks, stretching. We had to eat breakfast because we left like late at night on Wednesday night. And yeah, I didn't do any driving on the way to Michigan though. The car that I rode in, it was me, my dad, another one of my older cousins, because I have a lot of cousins. I have to sneeze. Okay. Yeah, one of my other older cousins and his wife. So, my dad and my older cousin, they would just switch off. But on the way back, I did do some driving, but I'll talk about that after. So yeah, the road trip to Michigan it wasn't that bad or anything. Like, yeah, I got plenty of rest like while we were like on the way, and by the time we made it to Michigan, like it was already like 5 o'clock in the afternoon, I think, on a Thursday, whatever day that was, whenever we arrived. And my cousin Cecil, she didn't expect a thing. It was a ton of fun surprising her. I haven't seen her in a while. She used to live here in Rhode Island, like when I was younger. By then she moved after she got married, but it was a ton of fun surprising her. Like, her husband was in on it, like he was coordinating with everyone and whatnot. So that was a ton of fun, like being able to surprise her. And yeah, we pretty much just stayed at their place for the duration of the trip. There were a few things that we wanted to do, like there was a theme park involved, or like going to Lake Michigan, but that didn't happen. A lot of the time we just like spent just hanging out inside Cecil's house, which is partly the reason why I didn't vlog much during the trip, just because like we were all just chilling, having a good time. I mean, I'm showing pictures of us just like hanging out that I didn't take any pictures, but like we were all just like having a good time, having some good food because we made like bubble tea at one point, and cooking like all sorts of things for like breakfast, dinner, and stuff like that. And yeah, also the neighborhood they lived in was really beautiful. I got a lot of walking done, and at some point like I started doing some biking as well, so that was really exciting because one, I got to hatch some eggs and get some steps in for Pokemon Go, because they were also doing like an event where eggs were like, they cost like half the number of steps to hatch, which was really fun. But yeah, and also they had a massage chair in the basement that I really liked. We made s'mores one night. It was all just like a ton of fun, just hanging out with family, just getting to unwind and just chill. It was a ton of fun. I believe it was on Saturday when we went to Tanger Outlets. That was pretty fun, just like seeing all the different stores that they had. Some big chains that you would expect to see anywhere, but then there was also like some local places. But just exploring Tanger Outlets, that was also a ton of fun. I did buy a hoodie while I was at Tanger Outlets. Like that was the one thing I bought there. Actually, no, I did buy some chocolate at the Lindt store, but I did buy a hoodie, and it was at Forever 21. And the hoodie that I got for like $6 or $7 just because I coincidentally picked it up at the section it was in the men's section, but like there was a part of the men's section that was like 70% off, and I didn't even realize. Like when I rang it up, so I saw the price tag, and the price tag said there's like $20, and it's like, okay, this looks neat. I'll buy it, sure. Then when the cashier rang it up, like I took a look at the screen. It's like, oh, it's like $5.90 or something with like tax. So it's like 6 and change, and it's like, oh, that's cool. Okay, I saved money. But yeah, that was like the one thing I got at Tanger Outlets besides food. So that was my, wasn't really my big purchase of the thing just because it was like $7, but still. And then Sunday, that's when I met my friend Nick. He is someone that I became friends with on the unofficial Steven George fan server where I met Amelia. She's actually friends with Nick. Like I became friends with Nick through her. But Nick, he's a pretty awesome dude. Like we met halfway between where he lives and where my cousin lives. So like, cause they're both like an hour apart from each other. So we met like in the middle, and that was like about a half-hour drive for both of us. And the place that we went to had a bowling alley, but we didn't really bowl. We just talked, and we talked longer than we thought, or we talked longer than we expected to. But it was a ton of fun, just like getting to meet him and just like getting to know each other a bit more. And I would definitely be down to meet him again. It's probably gonna happen at some point later on in the future. I don't know when, but yeah. So it was a ton of fun meeting him. Monday was the day that me and my family left Michigan. Like we left at like 4:50 in the afternoon, or something like that. And like all of the time before that was just like getting everything ready, like packing up our things, and stuff like that, and saying goodbye to Cecil and her husband. And my cousin Cecil is she's a crybaby. She cried when she saw all of us like in Michigan when she came home when we arrived, and then she cried when we left. But it's understandable. She doesn't really get to see us that often, so like and she misses her. Like she misses all of us, and like I miss her too. So it was like it was kind of like a bittersweet thing. But also when we left, we also brought back some people, because one of Cecil's sisters and her children, there's like 4 people in total, like my cousin's sister, then her 3 children, so yeah, 4 people. Like, they were living with Cecil for, I don't know how long, like, they were there for months, maybe like even like half a year, I don't know, but they were living with her for a while, and they were actually they actually like moved back here. Phone. Yeah, they actually like moved back here to Rhode Island because I guess that was something that they wanted to do, like just move back because they used to live here in Rhode Island. But that's why we took 5 cars on the way back, one of them being a U-Haul. So yeah, the trip back was a lot more interesting because it took us 22 hours to get back, and that's because my older cousin that rode with me to Michigan, he decided to drive the U-Haul all by himself. And first off, props to him for doing that, but like we also had to make more rests than usual because he was the only one driving the U-Haul. So driving 900 miles in that, you're gonna be sore. So yeah, we had to account for time for him to rest. So that's why it took us a little bit longer. But also on the way back, like right when we hit like the New York and the Connecticut border, it was raining really heavily. So we also had to slow down for that. But like we got back later than expected, but that's fine. And also on the way back, because my cousin was driving the U-Haul instead of switching off with my dad, I was the second driver to my dad. Like me and my dad, we would just switch off every couple of rest stops. So I think in total I drove about 9 hours, and then my dad drove the other 13. I would have driven like from Connecticut back to Rhode Island, but my dad's like, no, I want to drive more. So I'm like, okay, sure, whatever. But yeah, that's the longest I've ever like driven myself. Like that's, yeah, 8 hours. So that was fun. But I was pretty sore when I got back, which is why the last vlog, it's just gonna be like lazily edited, but whatever. It was a ton of fun, and I did get a lot of rest when I got home. Like I got home, I was talking to Amelia for a little bit, and then I just collapsed, and then here I am now. But yeah, it was a very fun trip, and if the opportunity ever comes up for that to happen again or something similar, I think I'd be down for that. But I don't think we're going to be taking another U-Haul this time, so I don't know, but it was a ton of fun visiting Cecil and her family, just hanging out with everyone, and it was worth it. It was worth like the soreness of driving like to and from. But yeah, I think that's really it. There's nothing else I want to talk about in regards to that trip. It was, like I said before, it was a ton of fun, and yeah. Anyways, I think I'm just gonna end off this vlog, so thank you all so much for watching, and see you all next time for another one. Later.